to make the ultimate Nashville hot chicken tenders. First up, slice the chicken breast into tenders. Add to a container with buttermilk and the spices.
Allow to marinate in the fridge for at least an hour or up until overnight.
Once the chicken is marinated, we need to make the dry dredge. Combine the flours and the remaining spices.
Now for the wet mix.
Add 2 eggs, the buttermilk from the chicken marinade, pickle juice, hot sauce, and the MSG. Preheat a pot with veggie oil. Whisk in a tablespoon of your wet mix to your dry. Now we're ready to coat our chicken into the dry mix, wet mix, and then finally the dry mix again. This is what we're aiming for. Carefully place your chicken into the fryer. While the chicken's frying, combine all the ingredients for the spice oil mix. After 6 to 8 minutes, it's time to pull the tenders out of the fryer, and just look at how crispy they are. Coat them immediately with the hot spice oil. Grab a slice of bread and top it with both tenders and a pickle on each. And boom, there we have the ultimate Nashville hot chicken tender.
Okay, so some of you guys still don't seem to believe me when I tell you that everything in my Making Meatless series is in fact meatless. So today we're doing a little recap, and I'm going to be talking about the primary meat substitute that I use in my most recent dishes. So first of all, we're starting off with these honey buffalo wings, and I use oyster mushrooms for this, as always, but I tried to use a little bit of a different technique here by clumping together the oyster mushrooms with the flour mixture so that it binds together to create this really realistic wing-like shape. And then here I tried to recreate the sort of like teriyaki beef type situation using lion's mane's mushroom. This is by far the most expensive ingredient that I've used in my Making Meatless series. It was literally $18 for this head of mushroom, but I justify it kind of because it's similar to getting a really nice cut of meat. And then here I created a fish fry using banana blossom. So a lot of people pointed out this is similar to artichokes or jackfruit, so I'm going to be doing a whole video comparing the textures, but I really, really love banana blossom for anything related to fish. And then finally, I tried to make seitan using the wash flour method. It turned out a complete fail, but come back for part 2.
Every time I make breakfast potatoes, this is the recipe I use because not only is it super easy, it only takes a handful of ingredients. Alright, so I start off by dicing some Yukon Gold potatoes, or really any other yellow skin waxy potato. And I like keeping the skin on, but it's not necessary, so if you want to peel it, no problem. Then bring them over to a pot of salted water and bring the potatoes to a boil. And while they boil, melt some salted butter with some olive oil in a medium pan. When the potatoes are soft, drain them and then add them to the pan. Now you want to toss them in the butter and oil mixture and let them cook without touching so that one side can get crispy. I'm using some garlic powder, smoked paprika, onion powder, and of course some salt and pepper. Toss those potatoes in the seasoning mix. The pan should be somewhat dry as of now, but the potatoes should have one side that's crispy and one side that's soft. Then just turn off the heat, toss in some chopped parsley, and serve them alongside some bacon and eggs.
Ladies, do you want to be a wife? If you answered yes, this is how you do it. This is my Cajun pasta recipe, and I guarantee you it will get a ring on your finger. Start off by boiling your pasta, and then you're going to dice up half an onion, mince up 3 cloves of garlic, set them aside, and then we're going to chop up our sausage. Now here I'm using smoked sausage, but you can feel free to use andouille sausage if you would like. Cut them up into bite-sized chunks and then set them off to the side. Now this is totally optional, but I'm gonna go ahead and prep and season some shrimp. You can totally substitute it for some other protein like chicken, but I like seafood, so I'm gonna go with shrimp. You're gonna season your protein with some garlic salt, some Tony's, garlic powder, chili powder, and paprika. Splash a little bit of olive oil, and then you're going to mix it all together, making sure that every piece of protein is coated. In a pot, you're going to place a half a stick of butter and 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and you're going to cook down your protein, starting with your sausage. You're going to brown the outside. Once it's browned, you're going to take it out and put it in a separate bowl, and then you're going to throw in your shrimp or your other protein, whatever it may be. Cook it down, take it out, and put it in another bowl as well. After you've cooked down your protein, you're going to saute your onions and garlic. Saute them down until they're soft and aromatic, and then you're going to go ahead and throw in some sun-dried tomatoes and some roasted peppers. This is definitely optional, but I'm telling you, it tastes way better. A tablespoon of flour for thickening. You're going to cook it down with the onions, and then you're going to throw in 2 cups of heavy cream. Give it a good mix in the pot. Then you're going to add 3 cups of Parmesan cheese. Now this part is very important in getting the correct consistency of the sauce, but you're going to stir and stir and stir, and you're going to keep stirring, and you're not going to want to stop stirring, because if you stop, the heavy cream and the Parmesan cheese will start to separate. Now you're going to want to season your sauce, and whatever you season it is completely up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and use the Green Latifah and the Creole Daddy from my seasoning line to season my sauce. Go ahead and drain your pasta, and now we're going to mix everything all together. So here I'm layering my pasta, then my proteins, and now we're going to just pour the sauce all over it and give it a good mix, making sure that every little bit of the noodles and the protein are covered in the sauce. Once everything's mixed together, you are done. And I promise you, if this does not get a ring on your finger, it'll at least make him want to be around you more, because you know what they say, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
prettiest lemon I have seen in my life. What the fuck?
Beef, salt, black pepper, all-purpose flour, mix. Done. Onions, carrots, celery, garlic, oil, beef, don't overcrowd the pan, golden brown, done, oil, onions, salt, garlic, flour, balsamic vinegar, chicken stock, deglaze, celery and carrots, salt, tomato paste, chicken stock. In goes the beef, rosemary, thyme, mushrooms, getting there, done. Nice and tender. Mushrooms, baby potatoes, Worcestershire sauce, some water. 30 minutes. Coriander. Done. Done.